Hey guys, welcome to Red50. Thank you for tuning into another video. If you're new to the channel, thanks for stopping by. I own a 2019 Mustang GT and make Mustang related content as well as general automotive content. If you share the same passion for cars like me, make sure to subscribe for future videos. In this video, we are going to be learning how to use pedal shifters on your Mustang. Starting 2015 and up, Ford decided to use the pedal shifters for all the Mustang trim levels. Whether you have the V6, Ecoboost, GT, base, or premium, it doesn't matter. Mustang comes standard with pedal shifters for 2015 and up models. Pedal shifters add a lot of fun back to the Mustang that was previously missing on automatic Mustangs. Of course, it won't be the same engagement as a manual transmission, and this video is not about auto versus manual debate. MT82 issues aside, a manual transmission in general will be more fun and engaging to use. However, there are many reasons you may have picked the automatic transmission, whether it's the 10-speed or the 6-speed automatic, such as commute, sharing your car with your spouse or someone else, and in the case of 10-speed, performance. And not to mention you avoid all the MT82 issues, which isn't the strongest manual transmission Ford has put in the Mustang. So in this video, I will be giving you an overview of the pedal shifters for the Mustang, how to upshift and downshift your Mustang using your pedal shifters without damaging anything on your car, and my overall thoughts on the pedal shifters for the Mustang. Alright, so let's get right into the video. So I want to start off with the basics and just the overview of the pedal shifters and their operation in Mustangs. As you can see, the steering wheel on my Mustang has two paddle shifters on each side. On your right side, you will find the plus symbol on the paddle shifter. This is used to upshift your Mustang. On the left side, you will see the minus symbol on the paddle shifter. This is used to downshift your Mustangs. The paddle shifter can be used in D selector or the S selector on your shifter. It is important to know which setting is best for you, and we will cover the differences later in the video. And by the way, to activate the pedal shifters, all you have to do is press either the right paddle or the left paddle to start pedal shifting. My car is equipped with the digital gauge, which comes with the 401A package, so I have the gear indicator on the left, as you guys can see. If your car isn't equipped with the digital gauge, then you will see the gear indicator in the small screen between the speedometer and the tachometer. Also, keep in mind it is important to know what your car's red line is. You always want to shift before it hits the red line. In my case, it's 7,400 RPM, as you can see from the red highlighted part there. Depending on what engine you have, V6 or Ecoboost, yours might be around 6,500 RPM. Now that we've covered the basics of the pedal shifters and their operation in Mustang, let's talk about how to upshift your Mustang. Now before we dive into it, let's quickly talk what is upshifting. Upshifting, as the name suggests, is shifting up a gear. In my case, a 10-speed automatic, so I can shift to 10 gears one at a time by pressing the pedal shifter to the right side of the steering wheel with the plus symbol on it. When you upshift your car, in this case your Mustang, your RPMs are going to drop as you get into a higher gear. This allows you to reach a higher speed, but your acceleration is going to suffer due to how gearing ratios work. If you've driven a manual, you know this already, but if not, it will become second nature to you soon, so don't worry about that for now. Now, keep in mind as you try to upshift your car, you don't have to let go of the gas pedal to do that. So how do you exactly upshift? Well, so as you're getting ready to accelerate, simply press the right paddle with the plus symbol to upshift or go up a gear. You're basically playing the pedal shifter towards you, and once you tap it, you will see the RPMs are going to drop and the gear indicator is going to go up a gear. Hitting the pedal shifter pretty much tells the computer to change the gear for you. It's that simple. So in this few clips, I want you to pay attention to the gear indicator and how the RPMs behave as I upshift using the pedal shifters. Now you're probably asking yourself, how do you know when to upshift the gear? Since you're just starting off, let's try to remain below 4,000 RPM or so before you upshift your gear. Obviously, as mentioned before, you want to shift before redline, so any RPM before the red line will do, but 4,000 RPM will kind of help you practice so your car is not screaming before each shift. Okay, so now that the upshifting is covered and you're probably a pro at it by now, let's talk about downshifting, the fun part. So downshifting, as the name suggests, is going down a gear, which can be done by pulling the left pedal shifter with the minus sign on it towards you. When you downshift your car, you end up engine braking, but most importantly, your RPMs will shoot up, putting the car in its power band. For a 5.0 Coyote engine like mine, most of the power is above 4,000 RPM. So when I downshift to accelerate, I try to make sure my RPMs are above that range or at least close to it. So, how do you downshift? It follows the same procedure as upshifting. You will downshift by pulling the left pedal shifter towards you. One thing to keep in mind is you cannot be accelerating while you downshift. You can lightly be pressing gas pedal as you hit the left pedal shifter to downshift, but me personally, I take my foot off the gas pedal before I tap the pedal shifter to downshift. So for next couple clips, I want you to do the same thing and pay attention to the gear indicator and the RPMs while I downshift using the pedal shifters. Now you're probably wondering the same thing. How do you know when to downshift? For downshifting, especially for starters, let's be conservative and downshifting maybe around 3000 RPM or below. Remember, downshift shoots up your RPM, so you don't want to downshift causing you to hit the red line or close to it, then having to upshift right away, which doesn't make any sense. So 3000 RPM or below is probably going to be a good conservative approach for you to try, but as you get comfortable with where your RPMs are going to end up with each shift, you can obviously downshift at higher RPMs and utilize more of your power bends. So that pretty much sums up the downshifting with the pedal shifters for your Mustang. As you can see, both upshifting and downshifting isn't all that complicated. It's mostly getting used to it and knowing where the RPMs are going to end up based on your engine selection and your gearing ratio. Once you have practiced a little bit, it kind of becomes second nature to you. The engine or exhaust sound kind of tells me when to shift as I have gotten used to it the more I have practiced. I barely look at my RPMs now, I just have a general idea where the RPMs are going to fall and should I be downshifting right now or should I wait a little bit longer. The other thing I wanted to discuss was having the shifter in D, which is for drive, versus S or sport selector on your gear shifter and how it's going to affect your shifting nature. So S selector on your shifter is the only way to gain full manual control. If your car has toggle switches, putting it in any of the modes like Sport Plus or Track mode will only give you manual control for a period of time, but if the computer detects that you aren't using pedal shifters, it will revert back to normal. Same rule applies if your if your shifter is in D setting, which is the drive. However, once you put the shifters in S setting, irrespective of your mode selection, and once you hit the pedal shifters, you are in full manual mode until you shift out of S to D or drive. Having the full manual control only on the S setting on your shifter is also a great feature for someone who is just cruising around and hits the shifter accidentally, but they have no desire to use the pedal shifters or even know how to use it. You will see it in this example as I hit the shifter but decide not to do any more shifting from the pedal shifters. The pedal shifter animation kind of goes away and it reverts back to automatic shifting. Now another thing to keep in mind, which I kind of briefly touched on, was the engine braking. So if you're driving a manual transmission car, you'll be downshifting as you're coming to a stop. With the pedal shifters, you don't have to worry about that. You can if you wanted, so you can downshift as you're coming to a stop, but most car manufacturers have implemented this neat feature that it kind of drops the gears automatically for you while still being in the pedal shifter mode. So all you have to do is just, as you accelerate, you just press the paddles, but you can kind of see the example. I'm in 6th gear right now. I'm just like coasting along, and as I'm going to be coming to a stop, you'll see the gears are going to be dropping without me having to downshift like you see right now. So as you can see, pedal shifters can be really fun to use, and they're not that complicated to use. Not to mention that the computers are pretty advanced in the car, and will always try to protect itself in a scenario where you forget to upshift, or maybe a downshift will cause the RPMs to go past the red line by either denying you the shift or taking over and shifting it for you. So what are my overall thoughts on the pedal shifters for the Mustang? I think they're pretty good to use. I always use them, especially on back roads. But something to keep in mind, like, I mean, are they the quickest to ship? Probably not. But they're pretty decent where I don't feel like it's an issue to use when I want to. If I'm going to Mexico, I'd probably let the transmission shift for me, as I think that's probably the quickest way to shift than having to use pedal shifters, because there might be a slight delay that you may not notice um, while you're just having fun on the back roads, but it's important if you're in the Mexico. So for most scenarios that you'll probably come across, I think they're perfect to use and give the great balance between having fun and ease of use. So guys, there you have it. This pretty much wraps up the pedal shifters tutorial. I hope this was useful and helps you guys learn how to use pedal shifters on your Mustang. So go out on the road, have fun with your Mustang, use your pedal shifters. Remember, practice makes it perfect. Once you've gotten it down, you can truly enjoy the potential of the pedal shifters. Don't forget to drop a like and subscribe to Red 50 for more videos.